Hi, this is Professor Lipuma of the New Jersey Institute of Technology, recording for my technical communications class with material drawn from my text, Fundamentals of Undergraduate Education and Learning. What we're going to look at today is persuasion and how this concept can help you develop a good package so that you can accomplish your goal with regard to your target and situation. So first of all, what is persuasion? For us, the idea of persuasion is any method you will use to influence your target to either agree with your position or take the action that you wish or that you have specified. And there are many different kinds of persuasion, and some of the first things you think of when you're trying to influence somebody, you may think of physical influence where you're trying to intimidate, or this idea that you're persuading them by bribing them, giving them money, treating them nicely, flattery. Now, those are possible things, but what we really want to look at is two major distinctions. And the idea here is that there's persuasion by reason, which tends to be an intellectual engagement where you're trying to get into the minds of them and give them a connection that they can see, think through, and decide upon, versus an appeal to emotion. And this is tending to be much more of a feeling and trying to tap into their internal drive so that they don't have to think about it, they just act without thinking, act without reason. Some people have said that 80% of our decisions are based upon emotion or thoughtless reaction. And so tapping into reason is a little more difficult. Other people have said reason will last longer. If you convince someone, then they'll always be convinced. Whereas emotion is a much shorter term, immediate thing, and then after a while, when the emotional impact is removed, you don't have that anymore. So let's look at what these two things mean. For us, reason asks you, as the sender, to create your package such that you're presenting ideas so that the target will be able to consider them intellectually and be able to look at your argument that's been supported by evidence and agree with your position. On the other hand, emotion deals with the package being designed so that it gets the target to react based upon inner drives and urges. Now, often you have a blend of these. Many of the papers you write in, say, a college-level research paper, you're really simply presenting ideas, laying out your evidence, and by the end, the person's there. However, in technical writing, you want to put in some emotional words. The words you choose, the terminology you're using, could carry with it emotion, as we talked about in tone. And so, though we're not asking you to be overly emotional or only count on emotion, we do want you to realize that with every balanced, reasonable argument, there is also an emotional or a personal connection you're striving to make. Too many times, if you only deal with reason, the target will feel it's dry and unconnected. If you only deal with motion, you'll feel that the target may feel that there is a lack of substance. And so what you're really trying to do is balance these two ideas so that in the end, they are left with a sense that, yes, they should act, that there is an appropriate set of things that convince them to do this, and that in the end they will agree with what you've said. And that's the whole point of trying to influence your target to do what you want.